Hey guys, Michael Burris here from New Horizons, and I'm here to kind of step you through making a selection in Photoshop. Let's get started. Just gonna open up our picture, and here I have a lovely photo of my coworker Jen, but she wants to remove the background, and that can be done very quickly and efficiently in Photoshop. So what we're going to do here is go first to the quick selection tool. You can also press W. I'm a big fan of shortcuts because they make your life easier. And what you're going to want to do with this tool is make the brush the right size. Making it too big, we're just going to press the Add to Selection tool right here. Making it too big will select the whole picture at once, and that is not what you want. Making the brush too small will make the selection process take too long. Around this size relative to your subject in your picture will do the trick. So we're going to kind of go through areas with the same color and try to select them at once, and it sort of works that way best. You can pause every now and then in between your selections. Now notice areas where we didn't want to be added to the selection were put in, but we're not going to worry about those right now because we can always go back and refine that. We're going to come in here, and you can zoom in by pressing Command plus or Control plus on the PC. I'm going to make for smaller details like this, make your brush smaller so that it doesn't select everything. Alright, it's looking good. Yep. And notice it just went and selected everything there. That's fine. We can take care of that. Now, for this selection area right here, you're going to want to subtract from the selection. You can do that by pressing right here, and this is the subtract from selection tool, or you can stay on the same tool that you're using and hold Alt. That will alternate in between the two tools so you don't have to keep going up and down and up and down. And when you're selecting more complicated images, it can really take down the amount of time that you are having to do things. And sort of took her arm away, so we're going to make this smaller. Notice it. And if we do a little bit at a time, we can get away with it. It keeps wanting to take her arm away, and so at this point, instead of fiddling back and forth with the selection tool, we're going to come over here to the Polygonal lasso tool. And I prefer this one over the lasso tool because that, unless you have a graphic tablet with a mouse, the selection isn't very refined. So we're just going to come to this right here, and we're going to use this to take away because we want to subtract from the selection. So we're going to zoom in using Command plus and kind of just come in here and go along. And every time you want to turn or do something different, click to make a point along the path. And that's good. We're gonna come up here. Pressing the spacebar tool will enable the hand tool, which will allow you to freely move about the picture while you're zoomed in. And we're going to go right here to the Add to Selection tool. And add this little part in. Okay. And we also need to take this out, but that we can start it with our quick selection tool. Come through. And we notice little parts are kind of unrefined, and we can fix those parts that we see with the polygonal tool. Take that out, and we're going to zoom in here. Pressing spacebar to. All right. Now that we've gone through our picture and we've pretty much selected everything that we want, I'm going to get the tip of the hair right there. We're going to go to our Refine Edge tool now. And as we see, the kind of edges around her hair are a little jagged. So we're going to want to bump up the smoothness a little bit. Now, this is not a number you want super high because it's going to kind of take away the detail of your photo. So we're going to keep that relatively low and use a combination of all these options to help us here. Going to increase our contrast a little. Thinking about the kind of the skin primarily right here. That is something that can come back and refine. Now we're going to come up here to radius. Turn the radius up just a bit. And we're going to run through here with this right here, this tool. What this seems like it's doing is painting back in the background. But it's painting in the color that you don't want to take it out. So that you're only left with hair. This is just a great way to select hair and to get those small hairs and details and bring them back into the picture. So we're going to do it on this side. And notice we're going to do that one more time. Better. And we're going to excuse me. Get these details along. All right. So that looks good. And we're just not out to put to selection. And if we make a layer via copy, we can turn off the background and see our resulting selection. And we kind of notice that there's some transparency going on. If we zoom in, we'll notice that this is not completely opaque right here. So what you can do to actually just get rid of that, pretty simple, is Command J or Control J on the PC will fill that in that will create a copy. You'll create a duplicate layer, and having multiple layers, and they'll add together to fill in that transparency and make it look more opaque. So we can merge these layers now, and all we have left to do is add a solid color background. We're just going to put in white here so that we can see our effect. Bring it below. And right here, one little thing left to refine. Now, we could use the eraser tool, come through here and kind of delete these pixels. But what often happens there is that you'll delete more than you originally wanted to. So what I like doing is going to right here, we're going to add a mask, a layer mask for the layer. And that allows you to paint with your brush tool. If you press B for the brush tool, make sure your opacity is at 100%. And you can just brush through here and it will get rid of that kind of noise we don't want to see in our picture. And alternatively, if you press X or you just switch the colors right here, painting with white will bring that back. So switching back and forth is just kind of a way you can go through and refine your pictures. I notice my brush is a little soft, so I'm gonna bring up the hardness a little bit. And you can bring up that panel just by right-clicking when you have the brush tool selected. And now, obviously, this is just a quick tutorial video, but you can spend hours, especially with the hair, selecting and refining. But for right now, and our purposes, this is looking fine. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial on how to select hair with the quick selection and polygonal. Thanks for watching, and be sure to check out our website here at this URL.